This is Capital Spotlight, and I'm your host, Dave Barber. We like to take a few minutes each and every week before a session and visit with a member of the General Assembly and discuss some of the things they've been working on and its impact on our state and you in particular. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to welcome back a gentleman who has appeared with us before, the Honorable State Representative Richard Morrison. Representative, great to see you.
Great to see you, Dave.
You know, you have a very interesting piece of legislation that you've been working on, and I know for some folks watching right now, it'll hit a hot button, and it deals with smoking and the expansion of legislation to eliminate smoking in public places in Rhode Island. Can you give our viewers the skinny as to what this legislation is all about?
Yes, Dave. What this pertains to is smoking in outdoor areas, which right now is allowed. What it will do is it will eliminate smoking in public places such as beaches. You go to the beach with your children, you set up a blanket, and someone sets up a blanket right next to you, and they're smoking away, and your young children are exposed to secondhand smoke, which everyone knows is dangerous and is not something that you want your children exposed to. You're waiting at a bus stop. Kennedy Plaza is a prime example. You're waiting for a bus. You can't leave, because if you leave to get away from that smoke, you're going to miss your bus to get home. There are many places, and the litter associated with the cigarettes that are discarded on the beach, that are discarded in the street. This is a time, and this should be addressed at this, now.
You know, I have to tell you, when I was researching this legislation, one of the things that really struck me was when you mentioned that litter issue. If people don't know by now that smoking is not good for you, nothing we say is going to change their mind. But one of the things that I noticed, you walk into like a business place or an office building, and you'll see out front a butt can, for lack of a better word, and there'll be all types of debris, and there'll be remnants of cigarettes and matches, etc., spewing all about the landscaping out in front of a person's business, and it really is unsightly.
Well, I mean, since 2005, you bring up a good point. Since 2005, smoking in businesses, in restaurants, in bars, why should the air in a bar or a restaurant be cleaner than the air that you're sitting on the beach? I mean, you want to smell the ocean. You don't want to smell secondhand smoke. At least I don't think that from the people I've spoken to and the feedback I've received, they don't want that. And I think this legislation will address it.
You know, and you have a lot of support too, I know, in the House of Representatives for this legislation. And if my memory serves me correctly, didn't the city of New York enact something similar to this, where smoking is banned in public areas? And although initially there was a little brouhaha about it, they seem to have adapted there pretty well, I think.
Yeah, it's a city of 8 million people, and you're right. It was last year the mayor of New York passed legislation, and it's banned in the entire city. Any place that you publicly congregate, people will stand, you can't smoke anymore. And the beaches, the boardwalks, all kinds of areas that were normally available, and it's working well.
You know, again, when you look at the health menace that cigarette and tobacco products are to our society today, knowing that it's singly the most devastating thing that Americans do to their bodies, using nicotine, if we make it maybe just a little bit more inconvenient, maybe some people that have been resistant to quitting will say, it's really not worth it. Cigarettes are too expensive. You can't smoke in public places anymore. Maybe it is time to quit.
Well, that actually is an unintended benefit consequence from the city of New York. It is known that the smoking has decreased, and it's an unintentional, but that would be a great benefit also.
A real bonus. Where is the legislation right now as we speak? What's the status of it right now?
It should be before the Health, Education, and Welfare Department, and hopefully we'll have a hearing soon.
Listen, I'll tell you what, although I mentioned that it would hit a hot button with some folks, there are a lot of people applauding, because some people are really put out by people that smoke around them and then litter our beautiful beaches and landscape as a result of throwing the remnants of their cigarettes out their car window. And I wish you the very best with this legislation.
Thank you very much, Dave.
And most importantly, thanks to you for watching. It's called Capital Spotlight. We do it each week right before a session. We hope you enjoy it. My name's Dave Barber.